Hi! Before we talk about this week's story, I just want to let you know that because there's not a YouTube service next Sunday, I'm planning a scavenger hunt trail that you can take part in wherever you live, and I'll email details home later in the week. Anyway, this week's story carries on our theme of rocks and stones. Can you remember some of the stories we've learned so far? Yes, there was the story of the wise and foolish builders, and we learned how the wise man, who built his house on the rock, was like someone who builds his life on the words of Jesus. And last week we heard all about Joshua leading God's people across the big river, and how he built a pile of remembering stones to help the people remember how powerful God is. This week's story is also about building stones, or bricks to be precise. The story happens much later than the story of Joshua. It was when God's people had moved into the land God had promised. They had built a big city called Jerusalem, but eventually they had forgotten all about following God, and the city was attacked, and the walls had fallen down. And this is where our story begins. I've chosen a YouTube video to tell the story, so it should be next in the playlist. When you finish watching it, maybe you can have a go at drawing a picture of the story and colouring it in. I'd love to see it if your parents can email it to me. Or older children could have a go at a flick book like this. I've sent instructions home in the email to your parents. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the story of Nehemiah.